Benvenuti a Milano. Joe and I have been here in Milan for the last 6 years, working with the GBU, the Gruppi Biblici Universitari, the University Bible Groups. There are 5 universities in Milan, and our role is to see a student ministry established in this city, sharing Jesus from student to student. Do you want that in Italian? Condividere Gesù da studente a studente.
Milan's an influential city in Italy and Europe because it's the financial capital of Italy. It houses a stock exchange and the head offices of a lot of important Italian firms. They say in Rome that on every corner there's a church, whereas in Milan, on every corner there's a bank. It's the centre of the industrial north of Italy, and its strong economic activity attracts a lot of people looking for work from the south of Italy, the north of Africa, Eastern Europe and South America. It's very different to the south of Italy, where Italians are famous for being passionate, warm-hearted and enjoying life. It's much more business-like. People live fairly frenetic lives. They work very hard, and the fast pace influences even the speed at which they walk and talk. The reward for their hard work is that they earn a lot of money and therefore spend a lot. Financial security is the aim of rich and poor alike. It is a materialistic culture, a consumer culture, more or less completely secular. So where does God, the Lord of everything, fit into this? Who is Jesus to the busy people of Milan?
Historically, university students have rebelled against such a consumer mindset, but today they embrace it and work hard to get a good job and to be successful. It's said that as many as 98% of university-age people don't go to church anymore. So it's vital that the GBU is proclaiming Christ in the university world. University students are at a strategic age where they're making decisions which will affect them for the rest of their lives. So it's important that they hear about God in all His glory, that He loves them and that they are accountable to Him. We want them to know that through Christ, God has done everything to enable them to enjoy a great relationship with Him that is immeasurably more rich than success in this life. When we first came to Milan, we thought our main task would be to explain that our relationship with God is not based on what we do. But now we've come to see that the vast majority of students just aren't interested in any kind of relationship with God. He isn't relevant to them in their lives or their studies. The GBU exists to see a vibrant student ministry taking place in the major universities in Italy. Its motto is sharing Jesus from student to student. Its purpose is to empower students to proclaim Christ in the student world. In an era where people live as if God doesn't exist, even in a country with such a strong church tradition, it's really important that there is a group such as the GBU taking the good news about Jesus to these students. In Milan, the work has been slow over the last 6 years. We've done lots of different things, given out lots of leaflets, put up lots of posters, invited people to a lot of different events, and we've met a lot of people doing this. But the thing we were lacking was always Italian students who share the vision of evangelism on their campuses. But God is at work there now, with a group of young Italian students who are actively planning on how they can impact their friends. Salvo, Gianluca, Bessiana, Rosalba, Jana and Michaela are all working together to think about how they can share the gospel with their friends in a real way which will see their friends understand, maybe even for the first time, who Jesus really is. They're planning to do surveys, have discussions, different outreach events. Pray that they would be empowered to share Christ from student to student, da studente a studente. Nationally, the GBU has been through a difficult transition to national leadership and has struggled for the last few years. In the meantime, though, God has raised up some strong and capable staff, and there are now groups in 16 cities. It was exciting at the Festa GBU to see 175 people together praising God's name, listening to 3 good talks on the cross of Christ, and sitting down in seminar groups working through how to read the Bible and how to prepare a Bible study, which will make a huge difference for them in their university ministries.
We really appreciate the partnership we have with people who support us. We quite simply couldn't be in Milan working with university students if it wasn't for the support we have from you back home.
We'd love you to pray for the GBU in Italy, that it would be strengthened in its desire and ability to share the good news about Jesus from student to student.
Pray particularly for the next generation of gospel workers in Italy, some of whom you've met in this video, in an environment that is increasingly disinterested, and that we'd know how best to encourage and train Italians to handle God's Word. The partnership between the missionary and the supporter is real. The people you've seen in this video, they're your investment in eternity, in God's big plan. Giving to CMS allows us to live in Milan, pays our rent, buys us food, covers our transport, allows us to be hospitable. Giving to CMS will allow this work to continue and expand. Consider coming onto the overseas mission field yourselves. Australians have been given much. Good Bible teaching, a go-anywhere passport, money that can be spared. God has given us all these things for a reason.